We also have the good old moldy oldies. Share it out with everyone that you can, or that you're willing to, respectfully, across the board. There she is. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hi, Candy. How you doing, dear? So we got a couple newbies tonight. One that I actually watched today, and I'm gonna just put it out there that she's full of shit, full of crap. Yep. I listened and heard enough. How you doing? One that was interesting enough. 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 Just yet, respectfully, just throwing it out there. All I ask is just tap the screen. That's it. So, let's get into it real quick, fast, and all I ask is just tap the screen. That's it. So, let's get into it real quick, fast, in a hurry, because some of us have to adult tomorrow. Oh. There he is. Captain Obvious. Sorry if the chat runs into it. I've been watching this gentleman for some time now. Yes, he does have a GoFundMe. Yes, he does have his Cash App in there. Yes, he does turn around and come on here and ask for help each and every single day. Him and his wife are in a hotel. He gets up at the crack asking for help. But yet, when I offered him resources, he didn't seem too apt to want to take hold of any kind of resources or help. They lost their house. I won't go further in on family side because it does involve kids. I don't involve kids. They're in school, but they are with somebody. Him and his wife are in the hotel. He works his tail off. She stays at the hotel. Allegedly, she's been sick in and out of the hospital. He has as well. He will come on. He'll be on. He was on this morning. He was on almost all day, or at least a good chunk of the day today. 101,000 followers, and yet they still need help. He works all day, according to him. There are days where he doesn't work. And I'm like, well, the days that you don't work, you should turn around and really try to fit in another secondary job. But, that's up to them. So, he's one to definitely put on your radars and keep an eye on. I've been watching him enough to, if you had to ask me if he was a scammer and a beggar, yeah, he is. And I'm only being honest because he doesn't seem to want to really take hold of the resources that are out there. Let me get a better picture so you can see who he looks like and what he does look like. There you go. That's Captain Obvious. He is a very kind person. However, we've learned in the past that with kindness comes manipulation, comes to the fabrication that they want your money to pay for either the hotel room or gas for the vehicle, things like that. So don't let that fall prey to you. Welcome in, everybody. Tap the screen. That's all I ask, respectfully. Yeah, like I said, I've offered him the entire resource link tree, everything that's on it, in it, around it. No, they do not own a hotel, but they are in a hotel room because they were displaced out of their house. Basically, what he doesn't want to say is evicted. I guess he fell on hard times with his job, and that's the end result. But that's why I said, if you have a job right now, you hold on to it with both hands. It's your job. Don't lose it for anything. Because jobs are becoming harder to get because they're looking for specific individuals. Now, you can go to fast food, but you're not going to get paid as well. Some of your local gas station chains, they will start paying management status at $20 an hour. But yeah, this is one that I've been watching for at least a week and a half. Offered him everything. I don't know whether he's taking it or not, but that's up to him. That's his choice. I could lead him to the water trough. I can't make him drink from it. But I've noticed, though, 211 has been... They don't have as much funding, but they're starting to do a little bit better on the direction of what you should go to for assistance. That I did take notice to, which is interesting. So, none the least, because we know how everything's been going and times are getting tough. But he really, I don't know where his direction is and what direction he wants to go in. All I can say is that I know that his wife has been sick lately, or sick quite a few times. So prayers to him, at least that, that sense. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Kelly. Yeah, it is harder to restart. I'm not going to disagree with you completely at all. I totally agree. It is definitely extremely difficult to restart. So prayers to you getting back on your feet and getting, straightened out. You're welcome. Oh, thank you, Animal Lover, for sending out the notes. Good evening. How are you? Hope all is well. So that's Captain Obvious. Interesting he has a name like that, but it is what it is. We all have our own names for our platforms. So one individual that I got up into a live today and sat and literally just watched, but I asked honest questions. And none of the questions that I asked seemed like they were given honest answers. Was this individual. I can't get one with a straight picture. Yeah, I can. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Stud Soldier. I have plenty of receipts on the questions that I asked. See, here's one thing when it comes to awareness. If you go in to somebody's live and they're begging and you're asking respectful, honest questions, make sure you get a screenshot as a receipt because you're asking those honest questions. Now, she was live this afternoon and I was watching her and I started asking some honest questions. She got paid on Friday. That's without a doubt. Oh, hold on a second. I gotta let my dog in real quick. Come on, baby. Come on. He's a good girl. Thank you. Sorry about that. My apologies to everyone. When she wants to go in, she wants to go in. So she was live, and I asked questions that were honest. One that I asked was, if you knew you were getting paid on Friday, why didn't you get your check cashed on Friday? Her response was that she wasn't going to ask the individual that drove her to work, but wait a minute, you have a 4Runner. Why would you not drive yourself to work, knowing that you got your check and you wanted to get it cashed? Or did you not have the gas money for the 4Runner that you say that you had to get it cashed? But then she was asking for gas money today for the 4Runner, saying that it's a V8. And yes, they did make V8s back in 2001 to 2009. Don't quote me on that. I do have a screenshot of that. But she was asking for gas money, and she kept on saying, it's a gas guzzler. Okay, I get it. Sell it and get a Vespa. Just saying. But she was dodging everything that she could think of, answering questions. And then, she was getting forceful and saying that if people didn't like the way she was asking and asking for help, to get out of her live. Well, first off, you're the one that's sitting in a live in your own page, granted, trolling people to get money from them to get gas in your car to drive to Kroger's or Walmart or whatever she said to get your check cashed, only to turn around and lose 10% because you're cashing it at a store instead of a bank. Here's a wonderful idea. Some banks, and I'm not saying them all, but we'll use mine for example. My bank, if I cash a check, I can have automatic flash funds, which is a set amount of money set aside out of that check to be able to use. And then the remainder of that check goes right into your account. Now, they do take a percentage, but it's not near as much. Yeah, I know. Not near as much as it would be if you were to take it to a Walmart or Kroger. And that's even if to say that they would do it. Because according to her, it's a $2,000 check, plus or minus. So that being said, why would you turn around and take it, lose money out of a check that you worked hard for, supposedly in the position that you say that you are, and yet then turn around and say that it's an hour away to go get it cash? But then when asked, I don't know, this is Stud Soldier. She's supposedly related to the Island Boys. I call bullshit on that one. Yes, most banks have mobile deposit. Now, that being said, I did research. September 30th, 2025, and if you need a screenshot, I could throw it up on the screen. September 30th of 2025, all U.S. government agencies will cease and desist putting and sending out paper checks. Just to let you all know. She says that she's a part of the government. I don't know how, but okay. Yeah, I know, it's a flex. I agree. But that being said, there was a lot of holes in the tissue paper of wetness that she was throwing out. And, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Yes. Yes, I agree. I don't know you. Yeah, if you see Cash Apps, report them. Report them. Get them off of here. Because if you need a Cash App up in your bio, then you're only asking for one thing and one thing only. You want other people's money. Which to me was sad, because if you were able to cash your check on Friday, you would have had money on Friday. That being said, let's go even further on this. So she was live either this weekend. No, it was Thursday night into Friday when she was waiting for her check. She was walking around aimlessly in circles outside some establishment, which I believe to be the hotel, stating that she was going to turn around and get a hotel room. She needed a hotel room. Anybody that helped her, she was going to pay them back. Now, I'm sorry, and my mod's going to yell at me for this, but I got to do this. When have you ever turned around and seen any scammer, beggar, ever turn around and pay anybody back? Never. Because they won't do it. They don't want to lose that money because they need it. They want it. And they will never give that money back. That being said, when I asked the question, she wanted to help her friend out today with money from her paycheck. Well, okay, how about all those people that you promised that you would pay back on Thursday night into Friday? Are you going to pay them back and you have their names? Do you have their Cash Apps, PayPals? That's all I'm asking. I don't think you do, but okay. I mean, that's a lie right there. Oh, thank you. Not necessary, though. And I appreciate it. But that's the thing. Yeah. Yes. I want to get into that too. Somebody point blank asked her about the vaping aspect. She's like, well, what does it matter to you what I do? Well, you're wasting money that you could have used for gas to go get your check cashed. You see how this works? Still nothing. But I tell you this, when I went and asked that honest question about why didn't you cash your check on Friday knowing that you were getting it? Yeah, I got muted real quick, fast, in a hurry. Muted. Why? Because I asked an honest question? Or to the fact that you didn't want to get involved in answering the question that should have been answered about the money? And then she sat there and turned around, and I remember this. I'm telling you guys, when I get this check, you won't see me on here at all. But yet she hasn't shown no proof of any check whatsoever. And then, like I said, an hour away to turn around and get that check cashed, and yet showed no proof that it was an hour away. You see, yeah. You see where this is all going. Lie after lie after lie after lie. They build their lies up to a point where they get confused of the last two lies that they turn around and had said. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if she does. I don't know her name, so I can't. Yeah, the math wasn't math in her life. And there was even a lot of people in there that were asking pertinent and honest questions. So then she stated that she's got to get some extra mods. Why? Why do you feel the need to get extra mods? Because you want the truth covered up? Or you want the truth hidden? Or you don't want the truth to come out? Would be the way to put it. Just asking. Oh, really? Well, the other thing is too is that I noticed one thing in the live, in her live today. She started having some rogue mod situations. In case you didn't see it, and one of the mods, I think, turned around and said everyone's unblocked, including Matilda, which was even in the chat. And I was like, okay, you unblocked everybody. That's interesting. But see, here's the thing. The ones that you unblock are still on your block register. So when you go to block them over again, you're just adding to your block list, which is also going to turn around and shadow ban your account. Just saying. Oh, yeah. Rogue mods are interesting, and I want to touch base on that. I myself would not suggest anybody to go mod for a scammer or a beggar for the simple fact that you don't get anything out of it. But here's the catch. If you're going to try to play games when it comes to awareness, you will be found out, unfortunately. But I don't mod for anybody, and I don't want to because it's not the right thing to do. But I will go in on troll accounts to watch beggars and scammers. So, yeah, you'll be involved in, yeah, and I agree with that. That's why you won't see me doing it. But the thing is that if you're going to go in under a troll account and don't let anybody know what your troll account is and just sit and watch. What do you think I do with Maggie? Maggie has no idea what my troll account is. No one else will. That's the kicker. And yes, I would consider that guilty by association because I'll be honest with you, I saw somebody tonight that if they come into my live, I will call them out. Because it was actually disturbing to see what they had said to Stud Soldier. And they will be blocked. So, Yeah, my honey, she's been missing in action. But that's where I would stand on those types of situations. That being said, when I got muted, I ended it and got out. I don't know if she did get the money for the gas. I don't know if she got far with getting money, but you know, it was interesting. I'm glitching. Just keep tapping the screen. I'm not doing nothing wrong, so it can glitch all at once. No, it's not Jordan Paul. It's a stud soldier. For anyone that wants to know, sorry, indigestion. So that's interesting. Yeah, I know. It just looks like Jordan. Well, they she acts just like Jordan. The eyes say it all, in my opinion. Um, yeah, you heard it. I saw it. I saw the bald guy in the room. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be blocked right off the bat. Luckily, I was only muted tonight or today. She didn't have to. She was making excuses just to get extra money. Here's the other thing, too. Did you really get a check? I didn't see any kind of receipts whatsoever. I didn't see the receipts for any kind of paper check. And look, I'm to the point now, you could show me a piece of paper that looks like a check from the back. At least that's something. I mean, it would be better if you'd show the front, but okay. I see. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Um, yeah, I know. She wouldn't show anything, Sinner. You're right. And how about when we asked her, she said, "Do you want to see proof about how far away it is?" I said, "Yes, it would be nice because I want to see receipts." She went into the room, came back out, and never showed receipts, how far away it was. I'm going to touch base on that near the end of the live, Rochester Goat. But she never showed any receipts how far away this Walmart or Kroger's really was. I don't know if she was an old mod for Jordan Paul or not, but certainly has all the characteristics of a Jordan Paul. But the eyes really give it up. Glazed over. Uh, yeah, I know. I know. Glazed over, very heavy. Um, no, not yet. I haven't done the update on Maggie. But don't worry. I'm saving the best for last. Um, but yeah, she's definitely one that I hold on. I got to see if she does. Pretty sure she does. I have her page. Yeah, right here. There you go. That's her page. See the Cash App up there? Oh, I'd be reporting. I already reported it already. But that's her page. Right there. I'd report that sucker. Get it knocked down. But yeah. Oh, she did get discontinued? Okay. That's what I thought. I thought she was working her way to getting discontinued because there was a lot of things that she was doing, a lot of things that she was saying. that I would definitely have not agreed on saying or doing. I'm just suggesting. Just saying and putting it out there. I wouldn't have done any of it. But she did. So. But, yeah. That was an interesting live today. And a lot of you probably had seen me in there. I was asking pertinent and honest questions to it. Which I have all the receipts. No, I don't have Harmony Sapphire. Or no, I don't cover. I don't even know who Harmony Sapphire is. Send me a DM of their at, and I'll look into them. I don't have a problem looking into them. But that being said, that stud sold you. Well, let's get into this gentleman, too. I think this... Yeah, there it is. Tristan. I've been watching Tristan for a while sometime. Well, not for a long time, but enough to know... He's constantly on here begging for money for his travels. Begging for money, begging for hotel money. He meets a lot of people on the way. One thing that I noticed, and I didn't realize this, is that him and Rich the Hungry were friends, but now have had a falling out. I was actually in his live when he was spilling his guts. Hold on. I can't see that one comment. Ask me and I come back around to that question then again. Yeah, I did notice that he does receive SSI. But he was spilling his guts about Rich the Hungry the day I was in his live. And let me tell you something. He was letting it all out there. And when I say all out there, I mean he was snitching big time on him. Oh, I got a better picture. Hold, please. I thought I had a better picture of him. I guess I don't. Nope, I don't. Sorry, that's the best picture I can come up with for right now. Anyways, he was spilling his guts. He was literally turning around and telling everybody about Rich the Hungry having multiple devices, having computer laptops in front of him, having all these extra stuff that he, in his own words, said had scammed off of other people on TikTok for his own use. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. You're spilling your guts. However, I don't cover Rich the Hungry, but maybe I should start really looking into Rich the Hungry. Awareness definitely needs to be brought on him as well. And I'm not one to turn around and back down from covering other individuals. But, truth is truth. You want to put out that truth? I want to hear it. I want to see it. I want to see receipts. I want to see the proof. That's all I ask for. That's all we should ever ask for. But as far as Tristan goes, look, teach is their own on your own situation. And he stated already that he can't get a job because of his mental capacity. He knows exactly what he's doing. That I can tell you. He is just like Maggie Foster, knows exactly what they're doing. And in my own opinion, if you had to ask me, yes, he is aware that he's scamming and taking other people's money. He falls along almost a close lines with Jeff Gainey. They know exactly what they're doing. They know it's wrong, but yet they still continue to keep doing it. And why? is because they know they can play the heartstrings when a tear rolls down their cheek. I've seen it so many times. I've been doing this for long enough to see when people manipulate. How they say it, the way they say it, who they say it to, who they target to when they go to say it. We all have seen it. Each and every single day. It doesn't change the fact that what they're doing is wrong. That's all I'm saying. But he's on this great travel. Allegedly, he was in the Kansas area just recently. And he wants to head to warmer weather. You want warmer weather, go further south. It still gets cold there, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, he's one that I've definitely been watching strongly and here lately. And I'll go in under my main account. I won't say anything. I won't be disrespectful. I won't be derogatory, but I will ask honest questions that deserve an honest answer. And if you can't give me or anybody else an honest answer, then you're hiding something. Straight out, flat out. You're hiding something. What is it that you have to hide? To the fact that you may or may not have warrants, to the fact that you may not be telling us the truth about SSI, or to the fact that you may have a car and we don't know it because you don't show anything. That's all I'm saying. Sorry. Let me get that picture off of there. Oh. And I know you can't turn around and see the chat, and my apologies. But going back to Tristan, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. When you go to Denver, it ain't warm there in the wintertime. That's facts. Sorry. I didn't mean to have the chat run into it. I wasn't prepared with that screenshot. Yes, that's the other thing that I'm watching, because apparently he has a residency down in Arizona. Or, yeah, I know who Joe Smith is. Joe blocks me every time I come in. Sometimes I've turned around and gone into his live on my main account, and he just sits there and laughs and kind of smiles. Which kind of weirds me out a little bit. I'm sorry. No, I don't think he is either, because he's fully functional to be able to go on his own. Now, do I think or I can sense, in my opinion, that he may have a touch of irritability if triggered? Yes. Do I think he could get angry? Yes. But that's why I don't go in and say any derogatory things. I'll ask an honest question. You block me? Well, then you're hiding something. Straight out, flat out. I'll go in and offer them resources on the resource link tree. Do you know that I've been blocked so many times? Yes, I think he does have anger issues. I've been blocked so many times for offering resources from anyone and everyone that's willing to take them, that it's thrown red flags all across the screen for me. I know that he self-medicates. That was what he was also discussing in that live that I was in that night, because he said Rich the Hungry is 10 times worse than what he is. And I'm like, wow. But, that's your choice of self-medication. Don't come asking people for money for it if you need it. Yeah, I know. That's not a bright idea, not a smart idea to start a GoFundMe, to being honest. I don't think he has autism. Not by a chance. I think he does have anger issues, which the self-medication could help calm him down. But, did help you. I hope you're able, if you run into any problems, let me know, and we'll work harder on getting further assistance. But no, I mean, it's your money. like just in Stud Soldiers Live, it's their money. Yeah, it is. But it's also not your money. So you coming on an app constantly asking people literally, and see, that's one thing. Scammers and beggars will call anybody in awareness trolls or trolling, or why do you got to troll me? Reverse that and take a look at what you're doing on this app. You're literally trolling individuals to get money from them to better your situation. And we're going to get into what, or haters. But see, hi, Lena, sorry if I said that wrong. But no, you're a troll yourself because you're constantly coming on here day in and day out, asking and begging and taking other people's money. But yet, what have you done to better yourself in your situation? Have you taken a hold of some of the organizations that are still active and able to help you? No. How you doing, Vicky? Have you turned around and started to get yourself situated on saving money for yourself? Notice you have not heard a single beggar or a scammer ever talk about any kind of savings whatsoever. None. Because they don't save any money. They'll use that money and then come right back onto the app to ask for more money. Yeah, exactly. You got to start focusing on the necessities. Yes, does it suck at looking at four walls and a TV screen? Yes, it does. But you know what? You're saving money. If you save $50 each week, that's $100 in 2 weeks. That's, in another week, it's $150 and so forth and so on. But they don't. They go right through it just as fast as they get it. And that's the kicker. None of them will save a dime of anybody's money. And some of them won't even thank you for the ones that got suckered into giving them money. Yeah, it is. It's some excuse as to the reason why they can't use resources. Well, most of the time with the resource aspect is they don't want to take their own time. Yeah, crab boils and DoorDash. You're right, but we're going to get into that here real shortly. But it's the aspect that they don't want to save the money. They would rather just run through it. How you doing, Sassy? They would rather run through your money and then go right back to asking you for the money. The other thing that I've noticed too, and a lot of them have been doing it. In fact, somebody reached out to me about somebody by the name of DC Cowboy. I have his page. I haven't put it up. How you doing? But DC Cowboy reached out to somebody. They made mention to me, and they sent me receipts. I'm not going to say the person's name out of respect, but DC Cowboy reached out to this person wanting money in a DM. Who does that? Oh, wait a minute. I know who did it. Chef Carl did it to multiple. And it's interesting, multiple women. Because they target women because they know they're more susceptible to give up their money. Yeah, see? And the thing is that should have been planned for. But here's the other thing too, and I don't know if Sassy, Sweet and Sassy's in here, but I was approached by New Life Journey in reference to resources for her kids because they were sick. Well, both kids are on Medicaid. And what does Medicaid do? Medicaid provides transportation. I don't know who you are. But nope, sorry. You're not going to get in my life. But Sweet and Sassy reminded me, without reminding me, about that. So I did the research, sent all information down to New Life Journey, 65, in reference to Medicaid and medical transport for her kids to see the pediatrician, which was about a half-hour drive away. So I offered all that, but that's the thing, is that, those kinds of small things, they help me, because I'm starting to forget a lot of things, and that's my fault. That's on me, nobody else. But yeah, so let's get into our next individual, one that has completely and utterly lost his man card. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean. I don't have a man card anymore. And yeah, sorry the chat runs into it. My apologies. He's been swinging back and forth between Favorited and TikTok. He needs somewhere around the excess of $800 for his move. Allegedly, he wants to move back closer to his mom because apparently his mom is sick. God rest her soul and hope she gets well. But he still hasn't gotten his man card back. And he won't. So, yes, I did go in there under always all for one. I did turn around and say that he must have gotten bored over on Favorited, scamming over there, must have gotten slow. Yes, I did say that. But he never responded back to me. That's fine. That's okay. I put up my receipts. I don't care what it is. But he's got me all blocked on every account except for that one. And for some reason, it wasn't coming through. But, hey, I call it how I see it. And it's interesting, that his mods haven't coughed up the majority of the money. Whatever happened to the woman that he was going to move with or move in with? I guess that was just a far-fetched tale, unless it was his mom that he was moving in. But I wouldn't give this guy a dime or even a minute of my time any longer. I mean, is he going to leave all the furniture there and just hightail it out of there? I mean, they still have his information or whoever else's information, so he's going to leave that high and dry. That furniture is pretty much, I'd have to say it's probably ruined, unfortunately. But, here's a man that has the ability to work, chooses not to work, says that it's medical reasons, but yet, hey, I got back issues, I got knee issues, and yet I'm still out there working 40, 50 hours a week, easy. What makes him any different? Just ask him. And then I took notice to one thing. He said about something that he has medically, that he's got to get blood taken away or else he'll unalive. I'm like, what? I'm like, that makes no sense, Sean. Nothing. His story changes day in and day out like the wind blows. So, hey, it's your call, your choice. I'd keep my money in my own pocket with this guy. And he'll manipulate women just like and then he'll turn right around and talk to a woman so disrespectfully and so derogatory that I wouldn't pay no attention. Yeah, he is constantly full of BS. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. He makes too much blood. I've never heard of that, but okay. You want to go that route? And he's constantly always asking for thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm like, yeah, me purse. But I wouldn't give him a time of day. I don't care. It's one lie after another. It just keeps building up, building up, building up. You remember that one time that he turned around and said that he was going to move in with another woman? And that never, yeah, you see how the lies always constantly happen? But, yeah. He's one for the books. All right. I know this is one that you've all been waiting for. The time has come. To put my honey up on the screen. Now, you're okay for being late. Family comes first. So we have Maggie. Did you know that Maggie attended a concert for kids that were from the age of, I think it was up to 12 on Saturday? Gracie's Corner. Did you also know that she went there and it cost $91 for a ticket that everybody gave her? Yeah, I find that, yeah. Gracie's Corner. It was at Philadelphia Philharmonic Theater. Oh, yeah. Her mods will mute anybody and everybody that speaks truth, facts, and anything else. Instead of literally sitting there saying that you're speaking the truth. Don't worry, we got facts about her. In this picture here, she literally was talking and discussing about taking screenshots. Screenshots of what? People speaking truth and facts? Is that a problem? Or is it to the fact that you're taking screenshots so you can turn around and block them later from your lives? I mean, what is it? You know, you sit and say that you speak truth and facts, but yet you're blocking people for asking questions about SSI and food stamps. I don't know. I just, I'm besides myself. I don't understand the whole situation as to why you need to mute anybody, Maggie. Oh, well, see, here's the other thing, and it's interesting. She wants it for police reports, police files, police records. Here's the thing, and I'm going to put this out there, and that's all because I don't want it to get too involved. She is going to court on the 16th of September. She tries to file any of those screenshots, those photos, any of that, if they're inadmissible in court because that's not what you're there for. Let's just put that out there respectfully. That's not what you're there for. You're there for a whole different reason. And the fact is that multiple people have multiple accounts. For you to sit there and literally try to prove that it's that person, yeah, good luck with that. Let me know how that works out for her. Hold, please. I got to do one thing. Sorry about that. Gracie's Corner concert or whatever it is on Saturday by herself. Nobody else went. Everybody was saying that she was there with family or friends or whatever. She may have. She may have gone with them, but why? Why did you feel the need to go to a children's concert? You're 42 years old, Maggie, not 12. Just putting it out there. There's a 30-year difference. I agree. I agree. So I have the receipts for the concert. There's the stage set up and how it was set up. There's Gracie's Corner. You see where it was shown at Philharmonic in Philadelphia. Tickets were already sold out. You couldn't get tickets for it. Yeah, children ages 2 and older are required to have a ticket. Payment plans available. The time was 3 p.m. Hey, look, I tell you when I have receipts. There it is, $91.50 for floor seating because that's where she was sitting at. That's a lot of money to be coughing up for just floor tickets. Just saying. And then, oh, please. Then she had the audacity to go live at that very same concert. Now, oh, I got to see if I got that. I don't know if I put that in there. Oh. Hold, please. Okay, you ready? Is created by um, educators. The show is created for education purposes. Um, and it's focused on edutainment to help children learn through music, movement, and engaging visuals. Okay? Now, that being said, they have their age limits. 12 is the highest that they would suggest for anybody to go at that age. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When she was live streaming that entire show, regardless of whether if the camera was on her, was on the stage, she was committing a copyright infringement considered illegal. And I'm sure they had signs up that she was not to be doing what she was doing. So, that being said, with legal ramifications, she could legally be turned into the company that produces that show. So, want to turn around and tell us why you were live streaming that show and it's considered copyright infringement? Creating more problems for yourself, Maggie? See, the Chris Brown concerts and the Trey Songz concerts, all that is considered copyrighted. So when you go to live stream it for your friends and the Mag family, you're committing a crime. Sorry, it bleeds into the chat. Let me fix that. You all got screenshots of that, so hopefully you saw it. There we go. What Maggie does is, for those that are new, Maggie is on SSI. She's also has food stamps. She's also in HUD housing. But yet she comes on here on this app, as well as Instagram on a daily, and begs for other people's money. By law, that is actually illegal because she is not reporting those financial earned income to the local organizations that are in charge, whether it be Social Security Administration, HUD Housing, or Department of Agriculture, aka Department of Human Services for the food stamps. So, yeah, what she's doing is committing violations and is illegal. Maggie Foster. I'll throw her picture up here. This woman right here. So she's committing a crime multiple times, multiple ways, multiple situations. She's even stepped to the boundaries of utilizing other individuals' cash apps to receive money. To receive money. And that is actually considered money laundering. You're not allowed to do that by law. I mean, Cash App has even said that it's considered money laundering when you're utilizing somebody else's Cash App. So, yeah, but each and every time everybody goes live and they get into her live, she calls them Mag family. Well, of course she's going to do that. She's going to sweet talk those individuals into giving their money to her for her to go to the functions. But yet, they get to sit and watch it live stream. Why would you give your money to her? Why wouldn't you want to go? Just saying. Look, and the aspects with the phone calls that I've made myself, other individuals are able to make the phone calls and report themselves too. Report for themselves as well. You only need her first and last name. That's all you need. And we all know that she lives in the state of Pennsylvania down in Conshohocken because she's already doxed herself multiple times. And that's all you need. Now, you can do your own research and find out more, but to the aspects of where she is and her basic information, that's all you need to report it because they'll turn around and do the research and find out themselves. Well, it does get, look, I'm not going to say it gets frustrating when you're reporting. Trust me, I've seen so many. Oh, okay. I've seen it so many times come across my page. No violations, no violations, no violations. But what I'm going to suggest is keep reporting their lives. Their lives do get upended sometimes. Their lives do get that stone thrown into the rail, into a tire, or the stick thrown into the tire concept. It does happen, but make no mistake that their lives get interrupted because we're doing the right thing. You should not be on this app completely at all. I mean, they just dropped the new community guidelines basics and when they're going to drop on September 13th. And, do you realize what the first thing was that came up? Was the community guidelines in reference to safety, usage, privacy, harassment and bullying, and frauds and scams. So if that came up as the new updated version, because it drops the 13th and goes effective the 14th, is what they were saying, then I think they are seriously going to start pushing people. I think if you have a pay app in your bio, you're going to lose your account. You'll probably get a warning. And if you continue to keep having it in there, I think they're going to turn around and nano your accounts. And that's why I would turn around and strongly suggest get rid of them. And then I'll let you up in a little bit, okay, dear? I'm not ignoring you. Now, that being said, yeah, I know, let that happen. That being said, Maggie's sitting there saying that she doesn't know why everybody thinks she's not a beggar and not a scammer. Well, Maggie, yeah, you are. There you go. You tell me that you're not a beggar. This is the Collins American Dictionary, English version. Pretty much looks like exactly what you do. So tell me how you're not considered a beggar? I mean, you're on the app, whether it be this one or Instagram, almost every day asking for money. That's what a beggar is. Facts are facts. Prove me wrong. Tell me that you're not a beggar and we can sit and talk about this. And here's the other thing, too. She self-admitted that she receives SSI, but then sits and says that it's not enough. Sorry that it runs into the chat. My apologies. Let me fix that. She sits and says that she's not a scammer. Oh, hold on. it's a lot in the folder. Yeah, there you go. There you go. If you feel that you're not a scammer, Maggie, then explain this definition, which pretty much fits you to a T. I mean, you were asking for money for that Chris Brown concert. Did you ever go to that? No, you didn't, but that's tricking people into getting their money from them. So technically, yeah, you are a scammer. Now, you may not get bank account numbers and credit cards, but you do get people's names and their full government names. So that's considered phishing. And that goes against TikTok guidelines. And here's the other thing, too. The basic one is right at the bottom. You're not an honest person. You make up stories to fit your narrative each and every single time you go live. Just putting it out there. Facts are facts. This is Cambridge edition of what a scammer is, by the way. All credit goes to Cambridge. So all I'm saying is prove me wrong. Prove us all wrong. Prove us that you're not doing what you're doing on this app. And if you're outside the window, look in the window and taking screenshots, go right ahead. It's not going to help you in your court hearing on the 16th. Just putting it out there. You're more than welcome to come up into a box if you're in my live, but I know you won't. And I know your mods won't because they're too scared. So, once again, explain to me and everyone else in this live how you feel that you're not a scammer. Okay? Okay. Well, that being said, let's go further. There you go. The continuation of what a scammer is. You're a dishonest person. Plain and simple. You have not said the truth about you receiving SSI and food stamps and how much you're receiving to anyone. However, your mods don't have a problem to mute when somebody does tell the truth. So why do they need to mute if somebody's speaking the truth? Which makes you a dishonest person. Sorry if it's difficulty reading the chat, but I do want to touch on another one too. This one's interesting. Here you go. This explains Maggie to a T. And yes, this is out of Google. Scammers, when seek to evoke strong emotional responses such as fear, with threatening to dox somebody, dox individuals, dox mods, dox anybody, excitement or hope to cloud their victim's judgment. This nails her to a T. This, I'm sorry, is what Maggie is, a scammer. Let's get further into it real quick, too, because I know you folks have other things that you can do. Here you go. Scammer jail time can vary from months to over 30 years, depending on whether the fraud is a misdemeanor or a felony. So let's go back to the past. How long has Maggie been doing this? Quite a few years. How much money has she frauded individuals? Quite a bit. How much money has she frauded HUD, housing? A lot. By not reporting how much she's turned around and gotten taken in. So that being said, I can guarantee you it is going to turn into a felony. Now, that being said, with the investigation that's going on between the three organizations that I reported to, it is going to take time, but karma comes around. We all know it to be true. Now, here's a couple other tidbits of a few things. Misdemeanor versus felonies, factors influencing the sentencing, what other information that could be put out in reference to what fraud and scamming does, and basically illegally begging. One other thing that I did want to put out: how many times have you seen scammers or beggars threaten individuals or get angry if you ask questions or don't do what they ask? I've seen them all across the board. All across, yep, Kim Peters. Exactly, Sweet Sassy. Or no, Kennedy, I'm sorry. But yeah, that actually happens. I've seen it all across since I've been on this app. And look, I'm only putting out truth and facts. But that is a telltale sign. That is why you can turn around and ask the honest questions. If they turn around and block you, well, then you are scamming. You are begging. You are doing and committing illegal acts on this app and to the government. Because how many of them are going to really file taxes in the long run? None. And if they do, they're just going to lose their money. That's why you don't see me going high on the hog, begging and scamming other people. Because I'd rather lead the honest life and do what's right than what is wrong. Yeah, Sean, he's another one. I mean, trust me, when time comes, their time's going to come karma-wise. And then when they go to have to answer those questions, good luck answering them. Fraud becomes a crime when it is knowing misrepresentation of the truth or concealment of material fact, which we all know Maggie has done, to induce another to act to his or her detriment. So that's a fitting for almost all the beggars. Misrepresentation of the truth. Don't let them sit there and say, oh, I tell the truth. I'm being honest. No, you don't. No, you don't, because you don't show receipts. You don't show any proof. Nothing. Just like Stud Soldier did today. Didn't show any proof. Didn't show any receipts. You're knowing in the misrepresentation of the truth, but yet you're sitting there saying, I speak the truth. No, you don't. None of them do. But yet they'll take your money in a heartbeat. Oh yeah, they'll take money right out of your hands, off your dinner table, off the back of your, the shirt off your back, and never look back. And look, like I said, I'm only being honest when I'm putting this information out. Some kind of perceived pressure for they call it the fraud triangle. Individuals that are motivated to commit fraud when three elements come together. They are perceived pressure, perceived opportunity, and rationalize the fraud as not being inconsistent with one's values. We see that all along with, yep, just like Sheena, just like all your beggars that are on here. But it's called the triangle, the fraud triangle. Which, if anybody is in touch with digital deceivers, would be a good thing to put up in her live and grab the screenshot of that fraud triangle. Just suggesting. Because the more it gets out, the more people get a better understanding about the fraud aspect. The four elements of fraud: false representation, knowledge of falsity. Yeah, I can't say that word. I'm tired. Intent to deceive. A lot of beggars and scammers deceive. And a reliance and resulting damages instrumental in recognizing and combating fraudulent behavior. There's four elements that are inconsistency with fraud. Sorry if this bores you or bores anybody, but I figure this is information that should get put out. Get you a better understanding of what frauds and scams is all about. You can actually utilize some of this wording when you go to report somebody's live in frauding and scamming. It never hurts. It gets the algorithm a better understanding of what they're doing is wrong. And it might even turn around and start throwing the trips out to nanner out their lives. Let's see what this one is. Key elements to prove fraud. These are the ones right here. Once you're able to do this, which is what those three organizations that I called are working on right now. False representation, which is what Maggie does when she goes live and begs for money. Intent to deceive, which is what she's doing. She's deceiving others of their money. Doesn't matter if they're freely and willfully giving it to her. She's deceiving the government by not reporting that money that she's getting. Reliance. She relies in the aspects of, and yeah, right there, relied on the false representation of what she's doing is consistently good, but it's not. And damages. The individuals that are giving her the money are damaged. You know, the ones that are actually giving their own money. Look, they want to get, you know, the Mag family want to keep giving up their money. Just remember, whether TikTok's here or gone, you're still going to be required to want to give it to her because you're a part of the Mag family. So remember that. And I'm saying that sarcastically, by the way. And lastly, types of evidence to gather. Documents, digital records, witness testimony, expert testimony, detailed records. Henceforth, the reason why I said screenshots are everything. Everything. Take a screenshot, put it in a folder. Even if it's one screenshot, it's information. It's digital. It's going to be there for a long, long time. You know, do a screen recording of their live, what they're saying, how they're saying it. Keep records. That being said, what do you think I do? My phone is so full and stocked full of stuff. And it's not just the beggars and the scammers. It's questions that I've asked because I want to have my receipts. So, but there you go. Sorry I bored half of you, but I figured that information needed to get put out because it was important. It is important. It's important for everyone to know that. Yeah, Kerry Walls is a straight out scammer. Look, I ain't covering that up for nothing. You're welcome. That gives you a better understanding of where it comes from scammers and beggars, frauds and scams. Oh, I know. And it hurts me that she takes advantage of individuals. Well, you know what? I do have a laptop that I may start turning around and start documenting further on some of these scammers and beggars to keep receipts. And it doesn't hurt to have that kind of stuff. Okay. Oh, yeah, I've been doing awareness. I've done awareness multiple times on Timothy Nash. You know, the thing with him is, he needs some serious help. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Princess Peach. Scammers do get money on the back end. Let's not forget that. Whether it be SSI, whether it be money from their mods, whether it be some other form, they're going to get money on the back end. You know, all too many times I've seen and heard Maggie's mods turn around and say, "Oh, you don't know what we do?" Oh, really? Is that why? Is that why a lot of you don't show receipts of what you do on the back end? But I can tell you this right now, and if you go to Maggie's page, you will start seeing a trend and see a lot of things. She's shut down her comments for quite some time. But the other thing that I've taken notice is look at her video count. how many people have viewed her videos? And if that doesn't give you a telltale sign, then of her being in the content creator program, I don't know. Maybe it's a possibility. I'm not in it. I don't want to be in it. I could care less. I'm only here for one thing only, and that's the truth, honesty, and put out the facts the best that I can do. Yeah, see, that's the thing. She's deceiving individuals saying that she can't dance, but yet she sits there and says that she has lupus. I'm sorry. My opinion, she's full of shit. She ain't got no lupus. She sat in the doctor's office, and the doctor straight out told her she doesn't have lupus. Oh, I appreciate it. No, I do not cover Gabby Jacobson, but I've been seeing some things, of Gabby Jacobson. Look, my point of perspective is the law has come down to the aspects of observing her more strictly. They've removed Cameron from her custody. That was their choice, their decision. She relies too much on social media for her life. Yeah. See, that's the other thing. That's what I wanted to point out. Maggie Foster gets her information. She writes it down in that notebook with that blue pen. Remember I showed you all that blue pen? And she'll turn around and get her mods or an individual to get that information on you, and then they will dox you. She's doxed multiple people on here. Oh, okay. He's back home within 24 hours. Okay. Well, yeah, see, that's the sad thing. Individuals that are on here that choose social media before family. And some of you have already turned around and reached out to me. And what have I always said? I don't give a flying shit and crap. Family comes first above all else. I don't care. I will ditch. I will lose. I will give up anything and everything social media wise for family first. Period. I don't give a shit. That's how I am. Henceforth, the reason why I spend my money on my own family before I'd spend it on a scammer and a beggar. It doesn't give two shits about you. That's right. So let them keep giving up their own hard-earned money. But see, that's the other aspect that I wanted to point out. The more Maggie goes live, whether it be on this app or Instagram, because 2 of the 3 organizations know what her Instagram page is, they're only collecting more evidence. Let me make that sound clear and precise. They're collecting more evidence. Hopefully that was heard loud and proud. Yeah, see, and that's going to be a back and forth thing, TikTok villain, between Danny and Gabby. I want more attention. I want more. Why do I need to sit and watch you eat breakfast? I don't care. But if you want to document your life, you go right ahead. Well, I'm sure she is on Big O as well. But here's the thing. Same thing over there. They'll eventually get her information. They got probably enough information off of this app and Instagram not to worry about much of anything. How you doing, Strawberry? Welcome in. To not worry about getting any other apps. But nonetheless, I'm sure they'll figure it out. That's why I said it doesn't have to end with me. It could be anybody else to put out that information and make those phone calls. If anybody needs those phone numbers, I can certainly DM you, or I've been saying that I've been wanting to turn them into a video, and I just haven't had time, and I apologize. That's on me. Oh, yeah. I believe it. I believe the state is crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Because I know one thing, that's something that they don't play games with when it comes to fraud. They will do a full research on individuals. And those numbers are not just good for her, they're good for everyone. Everyone. I actually have the links in my link tree, by the way. Oh, that's the other thing, too. Somebody approached me in reference to needing assistance on getting school clothing in a specific state. I'm working on getting the additional research done on national link trees for school clothing for specific schools, like Catholic schools or academies and so forth and so on. And once I get that completed, I will put them in the link tree immediately, as soon as I can, because I know that's starting to become a hard factor to get. I well, I haven't heard back from my new life journey, but you saw the receipts that I sent you in reference to, the resources I offered to her. So, and I still have those screenshots. So, I'm hoping that she has been doing better, but yes, I do believe something is going to occur. I don't think it's something that's my opinion. I don't think it's going to be something that she's going to like, but she doesn't seem to be too concerned about it. But if it was up to me, a summary trial, yeah, I think it could be. Because summary trials could lead to further trials. It could lead to further investigations if they choose to do so. She has to show up because she had already pled. She, according to her and according to the paperwork from the court, she pled not guilty. So when you plead not guilty, legally you have to show up. So, my opinion, I think she will show up. I really do. Because she's not going to think about it. If she's got to go defend to the fact that she's not guilty and yet she doesn't show up, the person that shows up that's pressing those charges or filed those charges or brought them up automatically wins the case. There's multiple aspects on it. The main one is harassment. I forget what it was. It was harassment without content or something to that effect. Yeah, with a cane. But do I think she's going to wish, if she doesn't show up, she's going to wish that she did. That's all I got to say. Because if she doesn't show up, it automatically, the case gets handed over to the person that's filed the charges. They win. Maggie has to pay. Maggie Foster. So, hey, look, she can get a court appointed pretender, but maybe that's where she's been at. Who knows? Maybe she's been talking to one. Who knows? But I can tell you, she has access to a free lawyer. Make no mistakes. But you never know. She'll have to pay court costs, court fees, court fines, anything else additional that's attached to the case. And make no mistakes, here's the other thing too. Even if a word or a statement is mentioned in that courtroom in reference to financial aspects, the judge, and I know who the judge is, her first name's Dara, she can request financial records on behalf of Maggie Foster. Yeah, it'll probably be a continuance. That's what I was thinking. Well, now she wanted $5,000 for her lifestyle. Remember, she wanted 10 grand in her GoFundMe account. But hey, karma came around, and don't think that it won't come around again. she'll be going right back up into court if the state turns around and finds all the evidence that they're going to find. And I can guarantee you this, they're going to find it. It just takes time. That's the only thing that sucks. That's the only thing that, you know, I wish would be more expedited. But the fact is that you got to remember, they've got to go through bank accounts, pay apps, all this information. It's a lot of information, and it's not just on one level, it's on multiple levels, whether it be through HUD, SSI, where did this money go to, who did it change hands from? And they're going to want to know how her bank account, along with the SSI, got up so high. And there is no hiding anything from any of those organizations. They know everything. Oh, I know that Fei, is a scammer, straight out. I personally just think that she just doesn't know what direction to go in and what next to do. So, hi, Mama Funk. I'm sorry I didn't say hi sooner. You can yell at me later. Yeah, she is mean. She's derogatory. She's nasty. She doesn't care. As long as she gets her $20 to get on that bus or whatever she needs. But look, you do your own research. Look, I've been doing this long enough to realize my money means more to my, excuse the expression, I'm going to say it, more to my motherfucking ass right now than giving it up to a beggar and a scammer. Ask the questions if you get in there. You have a right to know the answers. You want to give up your money, that's fine. That's your money. But ask the questions first. That's above all the most important thing that I'd be asking. I mean, I'm just being honest. Wouldn't you want to know? Good. I am very proud of you to finally get your landed an apartment. I hope it's a nice apartment. You deserve it. Don't forget to ask around for anybody to help with moving and, help with moving costs if you need to rent a van. Well, unfortunately, her mother did pass away. She was asking for assistance from the state to help take care of the funeral, but apparently and allegedly her sister helped her with it. So, well, and look, I don't discuss faith anymore because there's that certain line where, look, and I'm going to put this out there, and my mod and I were talking about it today. There's a point in time when you bring awareness to individuals, and then there's a point in time where you really start pushing the boundaries of harassment and bullying. And I'm only being honest. Now, as far as Maggie goes, nah, I'm mashing on that gas pedal on that one. I don't care because what she's doing is wrong. But if it comes to somebody else now, like Stud Soldier, I'm going to mash the gas on that one because you're straight out lying. You're not telling anybody the truth. And you're not going to change my mind any way you could think of, unless you show receipts. But as far as the fact is how far you push, I'm not going to disagree. There are moments in life where you should be very careful when stepping. You don't want to step in them landmines of poop bombs. Just saying. And maybe that's another reason why I've not really gone live actively as much as what I used to. But, me not going live as much as I used to also helps with my sanity and also taking care of business around the household. So, it is. Look, we put it out on our live that, in my opinion, Faith was scamming and begging and asking other people for money. The proof has been put out there. I'm sure there's screenshots. I said what I had to say about Faith. Good luck. Good luck. Apparently she wants to get money now to turn around and go on a trip and get an aid and so forth and so on. So I'm sure she'll be asking for more overseas loans. Just saying. Speaking truth and facts. But yet you're, what, $12,000 in debt. How are you going to pay that off? Oh, I'm sure.
Happy
Well, and if she sends money, that's her choice, her decision. You know, who gets what and so forth. But yeah, as far as Maggie goes, she's going to do what she's going to do, but I'm still going to turn around and keep the pressure on her. And I implore each and every one of you to make those phone calls to those organizations. The more that they hear from you about Maggie, the more they're going to really want to keep pushing this through to get that information. And I'm not saying that they're not getting it now, but the more it, you know, gets that steam engine rolling even faster. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And yeah, overseas money. Yeah, that's something that I would never trust, let alone go do myself at all. I don't even know how to do something like that. I'm just some poor bohunk old man, old geezer, according to some of the beggars and scammers on here. But let me tell you something, this old geezer tries to right his wrongs in life and do the right thing. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm an old millionaire. I have millions coming out because I bring awareness about scammers and beggars. I'm a millionaire. Yeah, I'm far from a millionaire. But hey, anybody wins that Powerball that's in this live, you best better cut it up. You best better share out. Tomorrow night it goes off. $1.1 billion is what I last saw. Did you know? Yeah, pretty fly for an old guy. Did you know what's the first thing they tell you to do if you win the lottery? That's right. Get a lawyer. But be careful on the lawyers because they can scam you too. Yeah, I know. I got tickets too. I usually play 50. Yes, billion. $1.1 billion. Or as in Dr. Evil would say, $1 billion. Hey, we got a couple numbers. We won $7 on the last drawing. Yes, and don't tell anyone. But you know damn right well, if I won $1 billion, I'd be making videos. All right, suckers, I won. See you later, bye. Yeah, it is a good chunk of change. But you know why? Here's a good one too, and I heard this tonight. Do you know why the majority of the Powerballs are won in the state of California? This was interesting. The majority of the winners are in the state of California because the state of California, oh yeah, Maggie would be my best friend. I'd have to take care of my honey. The state of California has the highest tax bracket, which I thought was interesting. Well, Maggie would only get $7 from me because that's all I won last night. And I just rolled it over. Which, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. California being the highest tax bracket, I thought that was interesting. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to call it quits tonight. I'm tired. I got to go to work tomorrow. This sucks. I think the Powerball is rigged. I agree with you. Because the last two times that it was won out in California, I thought it was interesting that they had a mistake with the system and it automatically put somebody out there in California that won that. That was interesting. Anyways, I'm done for the night. Stick a fork in me. Uh, hello? Hello? Oh, okay. Didn't allow me to have you up, but anyways, I'm going to end the live. I'm done. I'm toast. I am tired. But hey, guess what? I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Yeah, coming up soon. Coming up this weekend. 4-day weekend. I got some work to do around the house, plus I got work to do on the boat. Other than that, you all stay safe out there, please. Thank you, Emmett. I appreciate you, dear. I hope everything goes well with you. Stay safe. Do your due diligence. Yeah, 4-day weekend coming up for me, and I'm taking it. You folks, stay safe. Please, by all means. Have a great week. Go get what's yours. Work hard. Stay safe. Other than that, I'm out of here. All for one and one for all.